Brilliant.
I'm sorry when I leave you.
That's okay, no problem. Hello everyone, this is Lorraine Hurst and reporting. It sounds like I'm a roving reporter. Today doing some cooking in Jephson Court, which is in Coventry, and I'm here with a wonderful bunch of people here from Jephson Court. We do have a few people. I'm just going to scan round if everyone's happy to be seen on camera. We will move that around as we go, but hopefully this is giving you enough of a picture of what's actually happening here. We do have Norfolk House, who are in Leominster, actually already on this live with us, watching this live, and we're recording it. So if people can't make this session, they can come back to it. So my name is Lorraine, as I've said, and you've all introduced yourselves. You feel welcome if you want to. Elizabeth and Michael and Fitz and Doreen and Maggie are here today. So welcome everybody. And we're going to make an easy fish pie. So hopefully it won't take that long to make a fish pie. Maggie is vegetarian, so I can make her a little sauce that she said it's okay. That's not fish in it if you want. You can make. It's about kind of making a very simple white sauce, really, and you can put anything in it. What would you put in a white sauce, Maggie? Do you have anything you cook with a white sauce at the moment, particularly?
I would go like more lasagna type things, you know, with the corn mince and corn products and things like that. Yeah, I mean, most recipes you can adapt nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just thinking about that. Yeah, exactly. Thinking about that sort of white sauce and just modifying it. Yeah. We do have a lasagna recipe card down there if you want that. You already things,
you know, that you can add.
Absolutely, macaroni cheese. That's the other perfect one, isn't it, to use the white sauce for?
It's easy.
Indeed, and we like easy cooking. So we're an organisation called Cooking Good, and we're called that because we like cooking and we like cooking good food. So it's about health. My background is as a nutritionist and a trainer and working in the public sector all my life, but nutrition is what we're about. So my reason for even beginning this organisation is because I realised that I had to change my own diet for my own health, and it's made a huge difference. I'm not symptomatic with my rare form of arthritis because of nutrition. So I'm not saying that works for everybody, because that would be a disclaimer, but it's just saying that, you know, food for me is medicine, but also it's also about cooking things that are simple and cheap and easy, and eating some healthy ingredients and keeping ourselves as well as we possibly can. And this is called the Winter Wellness, Winter Warmers series, because we want to have nice warming food that perhaps we can put some in the freezer. Does everyone have a freezer? Yeah. Yeah. You know, that you could make some of this and you can pop some portions in the freezer. You've got some extra containers if you want to take some away with you today. So I'm just going to make a simple fish pie. If you want to get involved, you're very welcome to. We've got some potatoes for peeling there on the tables. So we're going to start with our potatoes, and I think most people know how to peel a potato, don't they? So if you want to get stuck in with is everyone okay with knives? There's some sharp knives on the table, and there are some peelers. I always like to prefer that style peeler. There's a couple of different types of peelers, but if you want to peel a few, it's a sort of cook along session, this. If you would like to peel some potatoes, then we'll get those going in the pan. I'm going to get some hot water going from the kitchen, but we'll peel some potatoes, chop them reasonably small if you can. I'll help you with that. Which one would you prefer? Or a knife? Yeah. Just holding a knife.
There's a knife.
That's it. Yeah. You prefer a knife. Some people prefer a knife for peeling. I know my mum does. Right. I'm just going to go get some hot water.
No, because I won't finish.
No, that's on the floor. This one's not very good.
Is that one any better than?
I think that one would be better. Yeah, this one's a funny one. I don't know. Yeah, I think that one's better. Look at that one. I use that one. I've seen one like that before.
Oh, that on the side. I prefer these as well. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I've never seen that one. What do we do with the peels?
Got a little bowl on your table,
Oh, right.
and that's for the peels.
All
There
right,
you go.
do it in theory, I can't do it in practice.
What's that?
It's all right, she's started now.
Making you giggle.
Just practice.
Cracked it. I'll help you with that, Doreen. Don't worry.
Oh,
Here you go.
yeah.
There you go. Does that help?
Yeah.
There you go. Is that are you all right there? Do you want a bowl? Bits.
Yeah.
Always have.
I usually play this.
Yeah. You know, that's going to be more fibre, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So, how many grams of fibre do you think a normal adult would need in a day? Does anybody know the statistic? Good answer, but it's much higher than that. Much higher than that.
18.
Much higher than that. So I'll tell you.
Already.
Higher.
40.
No, not as high as that. About 30 to 32 grams of fibre a day. So it's something to think about. And also, the fibre is not only good for our digestion and good for our gut microbiome, all those bacteria in our tummies that give us a healthy immune system when we're thinking about the winter and trying to get through that, even if we get a cold or the COVID, but we get through it, you know, and get well quickly. Our immune system is, a lot of it is in our digestive tract. So it's about trying to boost that by giving our bodies the right food. And fibre is really important because fibre feeds the fibre feeds the good bacteria in our tummies. But I mean, that statistic is just a general one. To have a healthy gut is to have like 32 grams of fibre. So I'm glad you mentioned peel on the potato there. Brilliant. Shall I chop those up? Oh yeah, you can do if you want. Yeah. I mean, there's some hand sanitizer if anybody wants to use that, or pop into the kitchen for a quick hand wash. So what I've got here is some 3 different types of fish that I'm going to cook in a minute. I've got a fish pie mix, so you can see that you can buy these as a 3 types of fish, but you can just get any type of fish. Frozen fish is usually better, even though fresh fish, if you ate it straight away, is good. But frozen fish is usually better because it's frozen at source and you cook it straight away. So it doesn't have time to.
A lot of the vegetables, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're saying nowadays. Yeah.
Well, especially vegetables because they lose vitamins when we buy them. Thank you. They lose vitamins and they're not as good for us. But I found a brilliant way to revive vegetables. Does anyone know how to, say your celery is looking a bit limp? Do you know what? Apart from just cooking it, have you got any tips? It's just to put them in water. So you get a glass, pop the celery in the water, and it just takes up the water. It works for cabbage, it works for lettuce, it works for carrots, everything.
I do it with lettuce.
Yes, yeah. So the same principle for any of your other vegetables.
When you live on your own, frozen vegetables are a better option because you can just use what you need.
Yes, and also they are usually picked and processed at source. So again, from a nutrient point of view, they're reasonable. Yeah. I think one of the things I would say is, and I know it's difficult when you're cooking for one, is again for our healthy gut, or for our healthy microbiome, that healthy bacteria in our gut that helps our immune system is variety. So we talk about eating a rainbow, which if you're vegetarian, you probably do eat a lot of different colours. We talk about every day eating something that's one colour of the rainbow. It's partly why I've got these extra ingredients for our session. Hello, we've got another setting online. Hello. Is there? Oh, it's Cockley Mill House again. You guys wanted to come back for more, didn't you? You must have enjoyed it last week. Hello, Cockley Mill House. So we've got some peas, we've got some sweet corn. We're making a easy fish pie. So we're currently peeling some potatoes and putting them in a pan. Anybody wants to chop up? Anyone good at skinning haddock? Would be welcome to.
No, I don't think I've ever done it. Don't know how you do it.
Yeah. Vince,
I did not volunteer for that.
you were volunteered.
Yeah.
Which is different, isn't it? Yeah, you were volunteered.
Let me see.
See how it goes.
Let's see.
So we're going to pop our potatoes. It says here 600 grams of potatoes to make 4.
If I just give it all to you.
I am observing today. Yeah, well,
I wouldn't skin fish.
You wouldn't know. Again, why not?
Well, I'll just do scale fish.
You just descale it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
But you've got the right principle because the skin has a lot of the good oils in it.
yeah.
So in omegas, we talk about getting. So we talk about if you don't take a supplement for omega, if you don't take a supplement. If you're vegetarian, obviously you don't eat fish necessarily, but you're talking about fish at least 2 or 3 times a week if you can. And usually oily fish is better.
Yeah.
So the oilier the fish, you get better. Again, really good for general health, but also supporting our immune system, which this session is winter warmers, cooking, nutrition session is about. Oh, I brought a masher.
See, I do.
Just had a thought of whether I brought a masher or not.
When we can.
I think I've got one.
You've got one. There's always one thing that I forget to bring.
Yeah, as I say, I've got one.
Always one.
Think I have it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Doreen is being a brilliant comedy chef here.
Okay.
She's on it. She's on it.
All right.
See next year.
We just had a very good chat before we all began about how interested in food
Yeah.
Doreen is and how much she cooks for everyone.
I wouldn't use scale. I mean,
It's got scale sometimes.
So you might not have scales. And what I
yes,
just
it's
watch
out
it
here.
Yeah.
to get the scales off. If you've got pieces of fish, you know you can buy fish. Everything's going up in price, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you buy fish cheap? I mean, sometimes I see the you know the cut price ones and the yellow sticker one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Doreen.
I go to the hunger.
You go to the fishmonger.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You get him whole.
You get a whole fish. Yes, and that's sort of cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you get a whole fish.
Yeah, okay, listening.
It's all right. That's okay.
Yes, that's how I get my fish.
Excellent, from the fishmonger. And you've got one locally, have you?
Yeah.
You've got one nearby. That's
Coventry
good.
has a good fish market.
Yeah, the market, I get mine at the market and I get it filleted or it doesn't.
They'll do it there in front of you. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
I was always taught that by frozen fish and jaw is good as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I was just saying that actually frozen fish is better because it hasn't had time for some chemical reactions to happen in the fish.
Yeah.
Like if you keep it in the fridge for a few days when it's fresh, that can happen and it's not as healthy. But if it's just frozen, it's been frozen at source, you get it out, you cook it straight away, or cook it after it's defrosted for an hour. And I mean, I tend to not have to defrost fish because when it's like this, it cooks really reasonably quickly. You have to make sure it's cooked inside. This is actually still a bit frozen, so I'm just about to put that on the heat. That's the one that's a little bit frozen. So as I said, you can just buy the fish pie mix like that, or you can buy pieces of fish. This was from Costco. Yeah, they do sell those in Aldi, I believe, and other supermarkets. Sorry, no. But yes.
Whereabouts you get them?
Yeah. You can buy fish pie mix from the fish, the deli part of the supermarket. Sometimes they have this because basically they're using the offcuts of the fish that they've been, the bigger pieces that they're selling, and they'll give it you in a bag. But this comes from the fish section where everything's packaged in that section.
Depending what recipe it is.
Yeah.
Tin fish is also good as well, isn't it? Or oily fish.
Thank you. Absolutely. The oily fish is the healthier fish, whether it's salmon, sardines, mackerel, those kinds of things. The oilier ones because they've got more of the omegas in them. But absolutely, tinned fish, tinned salmon, tinned tuna, tinned mackerel, you can put into a fish pie dish. You know, you could go like, oh, I haven't got much fish. Oh, I've got a tin of tuna in the. Absolutely. So those things can go in as well. You're on it. Brilliant. Thank you, Fitz. Amazing. See, we just doing this as a team. That's how we do it. So this is actually smelling amazing already.
Okay.
I mean, probably not for the vegetarian. No, it's okay.
No. I still like bacon, so
That was what got me after 10 years of being vegetarian.
that's the main thing that gets you the bacon sandwich.
Okay, okay.
So it got me. But I think your body tells you as well.
Yeah.
But you know, being plant-based, whether you eat meat or fish sometimes, being more plant-based is proving to be super, super healthy. We're working with a cardiologist who is with some heart patients, and she, the cardiologist, who is her job in the NHS, is seeing people who were on a list for stents, and when they change their diet, before they have their stent, they're checked again and they don't need their stent.
Yeah.
So she said we need more evidence of this, but she has got us in to do some cooking with her group because she is seeing that diet is making such a difference to people's health. Yeah.
Right, so you're boiling fish.
So I'm just putting a little bit of oil in the pan there for the fish. I probably could make the white sauce first. I don't know. Some people make the white sauce first and put the fish in if it's tinned fish and it's cooked fish. But this isn't cooked fish, so I'm going to cook the fish first. Just in a little bit of oil, and I'm doing the frozen one first because this one's frozen and the other's not frozen. So it's just like that amount of fish and to show you the different types. But basically, smoked fish is always good in a fish pie, isn't it? Because it's got that lovely smell.
You can cook the fish on frozen.
Yes. So I have to cook it a bit longer and a bit slower, but I mean, I'm literally able to already break that fish up in there, and it's only been on. And this is not the most efficient thing to cook on. What you've got in your pants or whatever will be infinitely superior to this, because this is just for for traveling with. So the recipe's on your table. So if anybody wants to tell me if I'm doing it wrong, you're welcome to have a look at that. And you can put any vegetables in this as well. So we're talking about which fish we could put in here. You could put any vegetables in it at all. Also, just to mention while this is cooking, that I haven't put any salt in the potatoes. Any thoughts about why?
Fish can be a bit salty.
Yeah, because we've got some smoked fish, that's salty enough. Could put a little bit of salt in our white sauce. Also, a lot of processed foods has a lot of salt in it. It's very high in salt. So it depends what we're eating. Takeaways, they're high in salt. And salt, unfortunately, although it makes food taste nice, is bad for our hearts. You can put a little bit of salt in your potato water, but just bear in mind. And now my husband sort of like tips that it's one of those with the pourers, and he tips it in. Hope he doesn't watch this video back complaining about how much salt he uses in cooking. But and the Italians use a lot of salt in cooking. But the thing is, they're probably not having so many other processed foods. And some say that if you make pasta and you put salt in it, the pasta's only taking the salt it needs.
Okay.
I dispute that a little bit because it will take from the water, and it can taste quite salty if it's if it's a very salty dish. But does anyone have to have a low salt diet? Anyone wants to share that? No, we're all okay with salt. Anybody got any allergies whilst everyone's here? Just so we're aware of preferences. Obviously, we got one fish. No allergies. Anybody happy to try some fish fry?
Yeah, go on.
Go on. Then. Not ready yet, though. Not ready. Is this the sort of thing you would make for one? Because as I was saying before, what we're aiming for, and I think we've got them over there, is to be able to, make something that's safe for 4 people.
Yeah.
So you make 4 portions or 6 portions if you've got a smaller appetite, and then you maybe eat one, save one. Yeah. Pop it in the freezer. Has everyone got a freezer? Did you say?
Yeah. Fridge
freezer. Excellent. And then you don't need to cook next time, do you? Just defrost it. With fish or meat, I think it's the case that if you cook it, if it's frozen and you cook it, you can then freeze it.
Okay. Yeah.
Did I say that was cooked fish? It's not cooked. It's uncooked, but it's not frozen. So you can freeze that.
Yeah.
But the frozen fish, or then that obviously can't be used. If it was frozen before and you defrosted, then obviously can't.
I think you can with something that, as long as it was not cooked.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's one of those sort of like we're not so sure and we're cautious with it. I'm also cautious with that. But as long as it wasn't cooked and then you cook it, then you cool it quickly, and then you pop it in the freezer. The things that are more tricky are things like pasta and rice. Although we have someone living with us who is Indian and cooks Indian food all the time, and he leaves rice out on the side in a pressure cooker, and it's amazing that he says no, it's fine for 2 days like that, and we're like no. In England we don't do that. It goes in the
freezer.
you have to cool it quickly, so you've cooked it, cool it quickly, mix it with whatever you mix it with, and then put it in a container and into the freezer. Then it's okay, and defrost it as quickly as you can as well. Ideally, maybe in a pan.
Just put it in the microwave.
For
about 3 minutes.
Actually boiling now.
I think the way that Indian people, Caribbean people, which people cook rice is completely different. Different cooking method.
Totally. I mean, what we would say, again, going back to that fibre conversation, is that there's fibre in potatoes. Some people can find that potatoes are a little bit upsetting for their digestion. So you could sort of substitute that for what? Think about any other kind of potato?
Sweet potato.
Exactly. You could actually have sweet potato. I would normally eat sweet potato, not this type of potato. Just because it sits better with me. And in terms of rice and pasta, yam, you could have yams. I've never cooked yams.
No, Caribbean.
Go on. Tell us about how to cook yams. Absolutely, we'd love to know.
Okay.
No. But you could, couldn't you? I mean, in some of the settings, we've been doing this cooking, and they've started running a cooking club once a week in the setting themselves. So either on these sessions when we run them in the next few weeks, if you want to, if it's feasible, and you've just got a laptop or something, you can set it up, you can cook along, we can give you the ingredients beforehand. You'd need obviously some cooking facilities, because I know this kitchen hasn't got a cooker, but depending on what you've got available, and ideally not such a slow 2-ring hob as I've got, because it's taking a long time. Then you could cook along with these sessions, or just start a little cooking club, cooking group, if you fancy to cook whatever you like. But sometimes it's just nice to cook together, eat together. It's kind of one of the principles really of our cooking, is that. And we know a lot of people, especially in the Stonewater group, people are living on their own and cooking for themselves, which you know, if you're happy to do that, it's fine. But why not have a little communal cooking every now and again? Are you having a communal Christmas?
Yeah. I've done.
James not
I
here.
know.
That's they organised thing.
And then she'll take a day in the kitchen.
Yeah, that was a
You
while.
know that kitchen,
You know, maybe that's maybe that is something for the future, isn't it? Maybe to have a cooker in there. I think it's got space for one, where the bin is, but it's just something to consider. Not everybody has to do these things or be a joiner or anything. So this is taking forever to cook. That's boiling. So we've got about 10 minutes on the potatoes. I'll show you something whilst those are cooking. So I was offering people water who came in earlier. Anybody know how much water we think we should be drinking per day as an average for an adult? Yeah. So about 8 glasses of water. So this is actually, my cup's a small cup, the ones you've got there. Probably something more like the size of Doreen's cup there. I don't know, like a third of it. 8 ounces of, how much is that in terms of litre? But 8 lots of 8 ounces of water. And that's so important for our health, is water, and a lot of people aren't having enough water. And that can be source of like tiredness and not feeling too well. So staying hydrated is important. But I have hot drinks all day. I don't know about anyone else. I have like hot water all day. You know, and then there's another way to stay warm as well, isn't it? Yeah. So this is our healthy plate. If we think about portions, yes. I mean, it's a large plate, so that would be the only downside of this if we're, you know, sort of not kind of going out and being a lumberjack all day and being very physical, but actually maybe something slightly smaller than this, but it gives you the portions, which is like nearly half the plate being vegetables. And as I say, we talk about eating a rainbow, because we eat all the colours of the rainbow every day. You get all the micronutrients that you need. Your body's absorbing them okay. So that's why we talk about eating different colours. So get some peppers in and, you know, that sort of thing. And then you've got your protein, and that doesn't have to be animal protein. It could be beans, it could be cheese, it could be nuts, and it could be fish, and that's supposed to be chicken, I think. And you've got kidney beans there, and you've got lentils. They're a really good source of protein. I've been making like a lentil bacon. I love it. Yeah, you know, in rather than a soup, but actually, you know, like a solid, you know, like a meatloaf but made of lentils. That's really good. We should do that one week. And you know, you just got, you know, good source of protein. One of the things that sometimes as we get older, we don't have enough protein because we're grabbing a quick, easy meal, cereal for breakfast, sandwich for lunch, you know, maybe macaroni cheese for dinner. But macaroni cheese is great. You just got to think about where you're going to get your protein from. You know, kind of, have you got your nuts in there? Cheese, you've got in macaroni cheese, so you've got cheese in there and milk. So that might be not the best example, but you know what I mean. You might have like a pasta dish or something, and it may be like
a tomato sauce or something, and then
exactly. You know, pasta, exactly, tomato sauce and pasta, and then you know you've got some protein in pasta. Don't get me wrong, and in rice, but you're possibly not getting enough protein. That's one place that for every kilogram of body weight, you're looking at about 1 gram of protein that you need. Depending on your weight, you need to try and get that in grams of protein, and then you have to work out how many grams of protein. But 1 egg has 6 grams of protein, for example. That gives you an idea. So that's our protein, quarter of our plate, and then we've got our carbohydrates. So you see, that's possibly different to how we normally eat, where we maybe have half our plate with a large jacket potato, or with our pasta, or with our rice. So it's just a rethink of that. Because you've got carbs in your vegetables, you've got carby vegetables and you've got your non-carby vegetables. So your carbs are your sugars, refined and unrefined. And the thing that's best with our carbs from the fibre point of view like Fitz was saying about using the skin on the potato, is to get the fibre, is that's healthier for our bodies, because unrefined carbs, they spike our blood sugar. So if we think about portions, we want to be having that sort of portion. I'll explain blood sugar balance in a second. But this is, you know, some rice, some pasta, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, that type of thing, noodles, they all fit into that carbohydrate section of our plate. But what we can do with that is we can try to have unrefined carbohydrates, the things that are more natural, so whole grain pasta, whole grain rice, those sorts of things are much better for our digestion, because we're going to get fibre in that. That's the thing. Yeah, you buy whole grain, yeah. Brilliant. And you can buy spelt pasta. I don't know if anyone's tried that. Spelt pasta. So that's a different grain. And again, you get whole grain spelt pasta or spaghetti. So it's just looking out for these things, and maybe doing half and half while you just get used to eating those kinds of things if you want to. No right or wrong way. And that's a healthy plate. But the reason we talk about unrefined carbs, like your white rice, your normal pasta, I was going to say potatoes, but potatoes are in this dish. But things like bread, white bread, these sorts of things, they are, although, you know, obviously sugary cakes and things like that, they're also the same, you know, your brioches, a lot of breakfast cereals, they're your refined carbohydrates, and those don't give you the fibre, and they can, because they're high in carbohydrate, which gets converted to sugar in our body, can spike our blood sugar. If we keep spiking our blood sugar all day long by eating these things, then it triggers insulin. And then what happens if insulin is too often triggered in the body is we become insulin resistant. And what happens when we become insulin resistant? Diabetes. Exactly. So this is why we have an epidemic of diabetes in our country. Not blaming anyone who does become diabetic. It's quite common. It's just something we, you know, to be aware of, that we kind of can, with our diet, sort of push ourselves into that. Whereas if we eat things that are more whole grain, we have more fibre in them, whether it's the vegetables or the whole grains, and make sure we get that balance of protein, we don't spike our blood sugar. Our blood sugars go like that, not like that. That's called the blood sugar roller coaster. There's your croissant with jam in the morning, and your sugary yogurt and your orange juice. Yeah? And then you go down. And when you go down, also that triggers cravings. It can trigger stress hormones. So then you go, I've got to have that chocolate bar now. I'm starving. Guilty. And then you're up there again, aren't you? Yeah. And then you come down. So that's the theory behind it. But we're not being killjoys. If you do like chocolate, does anyone like chocolate? Yes. Who doesn't like chocolate? Chocoholics. Chocoholics here today. What kind of chocolate is probably the best kind of chocolate? We've got a video on chocolate, actually. Dark chocolate. You're on it. Right, potatoes are cooking nicely, actually. Absolutely. Does anybody know why dark chocolate's better for us? Because it's mostly cocoa content. So if you look at the ingredients, if the first content is cocoa, it's usually over 70%, and that's better for you, because it's got all the good properties of the cocoa, which is very antioxidant, which is going to help ward off any free radicals and nasty things in our bodies. So it's kind of preventative. It tastes good, and we don't tend to use as much of it because it tastes strong. Yeah. So we just have a little bit. Any questions? Because I'm rabbiting on. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anybody think they will ever buy one of these because it's so slow at cooking? No. It's boiling away now, but it's taking its time. Wait, that one's boiling. Yeah.
Well, we had to use, some of us had a little one like that while they were doing our kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, no.
No, they're so handy to go around with for
Yeah.
us, you know,
Yeah.
back of the car, lift it,
Yeah.
but oh boy,
Meant to put much more.
we should just, we need an investment of a few like really super duper ones, so.
Yeah.
Say again? This is electric, yeah. This one, I wouldn't recommend it. They're slow, they're slow. We have been talking a lot about at the moment about cost of living and how much it costs to cook with things. So obviously it should, on a normal one of these, a fitted one in your kitchen, be cheaper to cook, something like this. This is a no oven. This is just make the 2 bits of the fish pie and either eat it like that or put it in the oven to grill the top. So you get that lovely brown top that you get on a fish pie. So that you don't have to use the oven because it's expensive, isn't it? If we're talking about cost of cooking, then we know which is the cheapest.
Air fryers.
Air fryers certainly are. The microwave actually comes a bit higher than an air fryer in terms of cheapness, but you know the jury's out about the healthiness of them. I would use a microwave to reheat things.
Yeah.
To reheat that leftovers that's in the fridge
Yeah.
or defrost and reheat. You know, something that's been in the freezer. That's how I use a microwave or warming a bit of milk, something. But for cooking, it's debatable. If you're good at cooking with a microwave and you like it, great. But air fryers are quite good. But they're a mini fan oven. That's what they are. They're a mini fan oven. So that's why we just talk about like 1 pan or 2 pans. I mean, you can always make a lot of mash, can't you?
Yeah.
Even just freeze the mash.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've only had to heat that pan once. So, yeah.
Yeah, cook for 3 days, maybe.
Yeah,
Cooking on 1 day.
that's it. He fits it on it. Yes, you know, he says he only cooks for 3 days, not for one. None of that. No, this is it. I mean, we like cooking. This is our job. But you know, if I can go home and something's already made, but it's making things that have been made at home. That's what we're about. Cook from scratch. Cook with fresh ingredients or you know frozen ingredients. That has now cooked a bit more. So there's a little bit more cooking, but now I can put the other fish in there because it's actually cooking now. So I'm going to add these are the easiest ones really because it's all chopped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got that smoked top in there. So one of the first groups I went to here in Coventry actually. Actually, what are the other names of the setting? One of the, to Mariana's setting. I know I was making we were making fish cakes, fish patties, and I'd got tuna, and I'd got everyone going, don't like tuna, don't like tuna. And I was like, oh no. So Miriama went out to the shops to try and find some salmon for us. I've learnt my lesson. I'm not won't do tuna unless I've asked beforehand whether you want tuna. But they tried it.
That tuna.
But they tried it in the end and went, oh yeah, it's all right. Actually, it was tuna pasta and broccoli with pesto. Does anybody use pesto?
Yeah.
It's a great thing to have in the cupboard if you can eat pesto. It's just a tasty dish, isn't it? Tasty for the baby full, yeah. It's made with basil and cheese and pine nuts. Yeah, so you got protein in there. That's it. So just cooking that fish a little bit while the potato cooks a little bit more, and then we need to mash. So I'm just going to make sure I've got a masher in my bag. Got one. Hopefully. Oh yes. Mash. Okay. Yes, so normally if there's lots of things to chop, we'd be getting you to chop up more ingredients like peppers or mushrooms or courgettes but you can put anything in a fish pie. you know, any vegetables you've got. If you grate them, grate some vegetables, put in like a courgette or a carrot. I think put anything in. Again, if you can get 3 or 4 colours in there, you're giving your body those healthy nutrients. So yeah. I've got a little bit of cheese as well, because cheese is always nice, isn't it? It's not everybody has cheese on fish pie, but some people like it, and it just gives it just a little bit more flavour. I'm gonna have to swap these over because the potatoes are nearly ready, and the fish are not quite cooked.
There's no cheese in the diet.
I do eat cheese.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh, you do eat cheese, yeah.
We've got vegetarian cheese in there. Yeah.
I eat a manchego cheese. Manchego is a Spanish sheep's cheese. If I stay off dairy, that's more for health. But manchego is lovely. It's like parmesan, a little bit. It's not quite as strong as parmesan.
And it's funny,
Yeah.
because like most vegetarians, you go to restaurants and you get goat cheese.
Yeah.
A lot of vegetarians don't really like goat cheese.
No.
It's got a very strong flavour.
I love it. Don't you like it? No.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, it's very fashionable now again.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, she loves it.
Yeah.
She loves what she's when you have those yeah, then we turn into chips and
I just thought it
I
was
know.
blues.
Roux, yeah, roux.
Or blue cheese.
cheese.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
What the young people have.
What they put in the oven.
Halloumi, yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, that's good. Can I just warn people about bones? Because although we hope there isn't any, could you just really chew? Because you always find a bit of naughty bone in the fish somewhere. So I'm just cooking the fish, doesn't matter how. There's been a fish bone problem. Or it is a tricky one. Right, so I've got, let's just check our potatoes. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to go and drain the potatoes and then start making mash. I've got the butter for that.
I just don't like cheese. I don't mind cheese, but I don't think that's right. But I've always grown up all my siblings for bread and stuff. I definitely made it.
I quite like
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't like butter.
Don't like butter on margarine. Even if there's a little bit in there. But you should keep you some
I
separate.
don't like cheese.
Yeah, well, if you keep you some
Oh, I
separate.
like using
Yeah. Have you got some plates here, like small plates? You can eat on.
Yeah.
Just a few, you could borrow,
Okay.
then I put your portion of this down. Thanks. Right, so I'm mashing the potato now. Those of you online. Would you be happy with milk? I'm going to put a little bit of milk in jack potato, in mashed potato. Now I'm actually using whole milk,
Okay.
blue chop. That's because, although we're sometimes told to have low fat milk, the full fat is only 4%, and our bodies can process the full fat milk better because it hasn't been processed, so it hasn't been changed. So the fat is a natural fat. Obviously, if you have a lactose intolerance, you're not going to have milk. So here we are. We've got our mash ready. Now we need to make our white sauce. So does anyone make a roux? That's actually the very chefy way to make a white sauce. Is our mashed potato? Marvellous. So I'll just get you a little bit of potato for you. On my plate. And then you don't have any butter in there. Everybody else okay with a bit of butter in their potato?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't eat anything from animal.
So you'll be vegan. So
No, I'm not vegan.
just don't eat any.
Yeah, I'm pescatarian, but I just don't eat it.
Okay.
Are you vegetarian
Huh?
then? Vegetarian.
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. I'm with you.
So you eat the fish, yeah.
I eat it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have just put a bit of milk in there. You aware.
Yeah.
So you won't have the potato then, just so you're aware. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to make a sauce for the fish. So it sounds like it's not going to work for you. This is that. Put a bit of fish on the side.
No, you can do what you're doing.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll put you a little bit of fish on the side. Because it'd be a shame not to.
No. Just do what you're doing.
Plenty of it. No, because the white sauce is made with a
Yeah.
it's all right, you can put some, I mean, it's just raw.
I'm fine, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just being one, you see, you can't look at all, I'm hungry.
Might have all these different tea time,
Yeah.
isn't it? We want different.
Yeah.
things.
That's it.
No, that's the bunch here. Jephson Court. You think twice.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to make the sauce in something, bear with me.
Right now it's half and half.
I'm just gonna make the sauce in this pan, in a second.
Seems not good. I'll hold it at that. Don't put that too far.
Yeah, so, yeah, yeah, so you do one and know that you stretch to the next.
Yeah.
On a Sunday, and on Mondays I probably won't. There'll be enough left to but my mum's always, my mum's working at 8 and she. Every day, that's one.
That's why it's not good to be not at all. She lived in that big family camp to the one here.
Now, I'm gonna make this straight in the pan.
Yeah.
We've got our mashed potato there, make it straight in the pan. So I'm gonna use some milk and some. I'm gonna do it without making the cake.
Oh.
You can do it with oat. I use almond milk or oat milk or coconut milk. Yeah, you can use any of those. And corn flour. I mean, this is like a quick way to do it. Okay, you can make a little paste with your corn flour. You can be really proper and measure it out. But I'm really lazy and just putting it in with the cold milk. And as long as you mix it together, it shouldn't go lumpy. She says. It's first lump. And it's low fat, exactly. You could put, and it's actually better to put the butter in at the end of cooking anyway, because it doesn't then burn the butter. If you burn the butter, you've changed the type of fat it is. But so from a health perspective, it's better. And take the butter rather than, but not if you don't eat butter.
With that kind of sauce and stuff, little and got mustard.
Mustard,
Really
yeah.
like powdered
I was going to ask people about what their little tips were.
as well with the cheese.
Yeah.
That's like a cauliflower cheese, isn't it?
Yes.
With the mustard.
Yes. Yeah, so we're just going to get that heated up, our sauce, and then we can add our fish and add our vegetables. So we're going to let this thicken first. So I've got some frozen peas, some sweet corn. You can use onion in a fish pie. Does anyone else use onion in fish pie? And I've got some spinach. So that's what we've got today. But I would often, it doesn't have it on this recipe, so I haven't brought an onion, but I would use an onion.
I suppose you could do a little tiny bit of leek.
Leek is amazing. Yeah, leek's really, again, it's another really good source of fibre, but it's called a prebiotic because it's really important for our good bacteria, which are probiotics. These are called prebiotics. So garlic, leek, onions, celery, those kinds of things are all prebiotics. They're needed by probiotics. Feed on them. So this is why we eat these things. You know, there's a science behind it all. One day, doctors will be actually trained in nutrition. We're actually starting to work with a lot of people who are in there, like social prescribing and that kind of thing within, and as I say, cardiologists, because they're starting to recognise that food has its place in our health.
One of the cures for a cold, chicken soup.
Chicken soup,
The
bone broth,
chemically, the chicken, the carrots, the onions, celery, and all the bits that you
Yeah.
put in them. Actually, it's like medicine.
Yeah, food
Yeah,
is medicine.
That's what I've got.
Food is medicine, absolutely. A lot of people have other like potions, don't they, with ginger and cloves and that kind of thing for a cold.
Yes.
I mean, I say hot water all day, but I usually put a chunk of ginger in it because the oils in it are really good. They're good for your digestion. If you have any digestive problems, obviously don't swallow the chunk of ginger. Make sure it's a large chunk so you're not swallowing it. And just have that all day.
Yeah, I started my day this morning with ginger. Often I boil it and fresh ginger. But this morning, I thought I listened to what my daughter-in-law was saying on the weekend. I grated some ginger, just a little bit, put that in with the hot water and a slice of lemon.
Brilliant. You're actually getting to those oils that are really good in the ginger if you grate it, 'cause you're allowing more of it to come out.
Yes.
And if you don't mind that taste, actually love that.
Yeah.
You know, some people actually chew on ginger because it's really good, especially before a meal, because it helps your digestion. So you do find a big meal kind of, you know, you're not digesting it. Then, you know, ginger half an hour before the meal could be very good.
Trying to do a bit nauseous.
Yeah.
Ginger is advantage.
Yeah. So again, for your stomach, yeah. So we're just making a white sauce here. It's just starting to thicken. You can do it as a paste. You can put the corn flour into a little bit of milk and then add it to this. I haven't put any butter into this, but as I say, it's what happens. You have to keep stirring it, don't you? The white sauce.
Yeah.
You have to keep stirring it, because if you don't, then it thickens really quickly or sticks at the bottom. Nearly there. Well, with this hob, you never know, really. I'm saying it's in there, but it's like all of a sudden eventually to be cooked. So would you make this? Would anybody make this? Is it the sort of thing you already make? Obviously not if you're vegetarian.
I buy it.
Buy it.
In fact, if it was vegan.
Yeah, but you, as I say, you could make this with oat milk or any of those. Yeah, any of those. You know, normally at home I would make it with
I
almond
couldn't see myself still above the pot.
Probably be quicker on yours. And so the thing is with a ready meal that we were talking about before, they're usually higher in salt, fat, and sugar. Why is that? Because it tastes good and it makes us want to buy more of them. So whilst it's very convenient, we've got to remember that they're like pretty unhealthy, you know, now and again to have a ready meal. And then there are some, you know, there's some meals where they have thought about it and they've watched the taste. I've suddenly gone thicker.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to put a little bit more milk in that 'cause it's quite thick. It's literally suddenly like half and then it's full thick sauce. Nice to see you. So that's, we would put pepper in this, but you can put whatever you want in it. So I'm going to add vegetables. More than half a tin of sweet corn, frozen peas, because they cook so quickly. Just go straight into the sauce. In fact, they've already defrosted a bit. And I've got some spinach. Mushrooms, they go nice in it. Anything else you'd put in a white sauce?
Oh, mushrooms. Oh, no, I love mushrooms, man. I'm sure the mushrooms.
Put more milk.
I'm afraid, no, yeah.
So would you make this? Those people watching online, do you make this at home? Right, so we're just going to get this up to heat again, and I've got a little bit of spinach. So I've washed this already at home, and this can go in.
Baby spinach.
Yep, iron in spinach, and and a lot of vitamin K2 in any leafy green vegetables, which is important, which absorb our vitamin D. We need K2, and that's in spinach. Again, you know, anything green that we can add to our diet is good.
You've got the vegan recipe there.
That's
with the mushroom,
yeah.
spinach,
You could
no fish, just the potato. You've got
you've got vegan there if it's made with
the oats.
the oat, yeah, or the soy, or a little bit more fat in. It seems quite thick. You can always judge that as you go along. If it's too thick, wants to be a bit thick. And you can put, the reason it's no oven is you can put this and just eat it as it is, because we haven't got a grill here. But we've got our sauce, we've got our mashed potato, and we can put that in a tray and put that in the oven and on the grill, just on the grill, because it's already hot. All we're doing is browning the top. Yeah, we can do that. So you've got it, everybody. I'm going to add the fish to that. Those are separate. Now adding the fish to our white sauce, and we have a fish pie, basically. We haven't got any mustard today, but if we maybe a little bit of pepper, because this has got quite salty smoked fish on this. So you know, if you tasted it and you didn't like it, you could add salt, but I would probably not. Salt. This. As I say, you could add a little bit of butter if you want to. Butyrate it. But that is more or less. I'm just going to make sure it gets up to some heat, and we can get this ready to eat, more or less. Who would like to try some? So that's our sauce. There, cooking away. There's a lot of it, and that's our mashed potato. There you go. Sorry, it's not smelly vision, and you can smell the food, or try it through the Zoom. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yes.
They're gonna get their knack for that.
I'm gonna get that. Yeah. Mash
It's the matter of time.
I'm all
Are
right.
you sure you don't want it at all?
As I said, you can
It's okay,
keep all
it's
of
okay.
them.
There's plenty in there.
Maybe that'll be your lunch.
You don't want it. You don't want it. Put it in the dish, but it's
I'm just saying, any good meal for somebody.
yeah.
Yes, you.
You. That's it. Right. So I'm going to make Doreen there with the fish, with the potato. So we've got a portion here.
That's salmon, is it?
It's salmon. There's some smoked haddock. There's some sea bream, I think it is.
Smoked haddock.
There you go. That's your
A little damp dash of white wine.
oh, white wine. Now we're on it. You want to bring a 3 others. It's getting one more plate.
Oh, dear, okay.
Right. 3 plates. So would you like some? Would you like some?
Yeah.
So, excuse the mash, not gonna.
Lovely compliments to the chef.
Okay, thank you for all your help and
The mushroom fish.
handy tips. Is it warm enough? Is it all cooked through? Watch the spin. Watch for any bones, won't you?
Make a wonderful tea.
Yeah, good cooking tea. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Has everyone filled out a workshop questionnaire week 1? There's those forms on the table. If you wouldn't mind filling one out, that would be amazing. And I'm going to leave those with Doreen, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So this is our food now that everyone's having a taste of. So I'll turn the video off in a minute. But thank you for everybody who came online, and be happy to know your comments. We're just saying that maybe next week, and I don't want this group thing, if you want to tune in next week, they're going to try a creamy pork and mushroom with rice. So that could be made with without pork, or it could be made with an oat milk or an almond milk, if you needed it to be. I was thinking about making that next week. So if you're happy with that, then Farah will make that next week. But let us know in the chat. So we're going to get tucking into this, Michael. Yeah, sorry. Go over the side. It's like an ice cream. You've got to eat it straight away. Right, so we're going to say goodbye to everybody who's online. Thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes,
Bye for now.
Bye.
Happy Christmas. Bye, everyone. Saying they're all eating. Look.
Bye.
Bye. Bye from Doreen. Yeah. See you soon.